This one's going to be a quick one today, guys. I was in the neighborhood, thought I'd stop in to Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve. Let's take a look at the sign here. Welcome to the tallest dunes in North America, shaped by the forces of wind, water. Huge dunes are textures, shadows, habitats, and experiences. Pretty cool. Let's go take a look. You might be asking yourself, why is this here in the middle of Colorado? The answer is simple yet complex. You have these immense dune fields surrounded by a ring of mountains. You have mountains over here and all the way. Because of that, it's kind of like a natural little basin that collects all the sand as it erodes from the surrounding mountains. People coming towards me and people that are behind me did sand surfing. And how crazy is that? Definitely come back and do that. Just to revisit this sign, they say shoes not sandals because it can get very hot in the summertime. Protect the pet's feet and watch out for lightning. A couple different hikes you can do, just depends on what you want to do and where you want to go. The surrounding ridges you can also venture into. There's some off-road driving that goes up that way somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where. Further down off the paved road as well. Over here in the far side of the parking lot, there is a changing area. And it looks like a restroom, but I'm not sure. There's a pit toilet, which I just used. I love the view of the dunes, though. It's so crazy to look at. Right here behind me is the Montville Trailhead, which takes you to Mosca Pass and some other places. And it's right across the road from the dune field. This panel right here talks about Zebulon Pike. He crossed the southwestern part of the Louisiana Purchase, and he camped here January 28th, 1807. And they had just crossed the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. They were very worn out from that, and they were supposed to look for those southwestern boundaries of the Louisiana Purchase and try to find the source of the Arkansas and Red Rivers. Lieutenant Pike was the first person to describe the sand dunes in writing. Isn't that neat? Even though we're in a dry, sandy environment here at the dune field area, there are streams out here. I mean, north over here, and at the base there's kind of like a little dark spot. You may not be able to see it on the camera, but that's the start of Medano Creek. As they get more and more snow melt, I heard one of the people in the visitor center, it will get very full. And just like anything else out here, water is critical. One thing about the dunes is they did serve as a landmark for people. A lot of people use these. There is a road here, Medano Pass Primitive Road, four-wheel drive high clearance, and the Mosca Pass Trail, which both follow tough, rough, historic routes over the Sangre de Cristos, which are located right behind me, right here. Well, that was a quick and dirty of Great Sand Dunes. I'm hoping to come back sometime soon, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, spend some longer time here. Definitely hit like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe so you don't miss that. And here's a little sweeping view of everything. Blanca Peak and the dunes. The landscape you see before you is evidence of a changing world. You have fossil evidence of these large bison-looking creatures. They look like bison because they are bison, but they're different species than modern bison that we see out here in the West. These are bison antiquus, which were a more primitive version of bison, a prior version, if you will. And they found those bones here on Great Sand Dunes National Park. And they also found Clovis spear points used for hunting very large mammals such as Columbian mammoths. So large lakes existed here on the valley floor. You can see the valley goes a long way, and it's pretty much ringed entirely by mountains. Things dried out. They had lush wetlands and they were replaced by grasslands and forests, and the mammoths that were here were extinct. And a huge now extinct bison, which I already mentioned, survived longer, and they were able to hunt those, but they didn't last as long either. here in the Great Sand Dunes, you have different animals that kind of interlope, for lack of a better term, such as pronghorn antelope, elk, burrowing owls, because you have a mixture of desert species, prairie species, and more mountain species coming through here. The watershed is where all the water collects up in the mountains. You have the dune field below that. You have sand sheets called the sabkha. The sabkha are a form of wetlands where the sand is saturated, and that's places where birds and other creatures can get water. So, pretty interesting. This is really like a two-part video that I included together. One was when I visited in, let's say, early April of 2025 after I went to Leadville. I just dropped by for a few minutes to check it out, and the weather actually was surprisingly good. I came back in May when I could spend a little bit longer time, and if you continue watching the video, you're going to see that it didn't go as planned. Hope you still enjoy the video, and you'll keep watching. Back to the video. Hey folks, welcome to Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve. I was here a couple of weeks ago when I was coming out of Leadville. Been in Pagosa for a couple of days. Wanted to stop by and do some things here in the park. Wasn't really anticipating this weather though. I came from this direction over here. I'm at what do you call the point of no return at Medano Pass. Let's look at it real quick. This is where I want to start the video today. Beyond this point, you need a high clearance four-wheel drive vehicle with a low capability, and there's soft sand ahead that might hinder your progress. And also today there's snow. Anyway, hope you'll stick with me to check out Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve. You can stay in the backcountry. There are some tables here. I wouldn't be staying in the backcountry tonight because it looks cold and I'm just not prepared for it. It's not just sand dunes here. The sand dunes actually are over there. You just can't see them because the weather is so crappy. Let's walk up here to take a look at some of the trailhead stuff. Through the magic of video, we will magically end up at the trailhead sign. If you look on there, there's two designated places on here that shows us where we are. Here's the visitor center, and here's where you come into the park. I drove past the campground to the left side of it and drove to the point of no return, which is basically where you can get with a regular vehicle, a non-four-wheel drive vehicle. Even though mine is, with the weather conditions, I wasn't necessarily sure I wanted to do this. But it looks okay. High Dune is right here. Star Dune is here, and then you have other dunes out in the dune field all around here. This is all wilderness area where the dune area is, along with some other areas of the park. And this is a topographic profile plus underlying geology here. We're here at the point of no return. The Pinion Flats campground is to our south. This shows you different places that you might end up on. I don't know that necessarily it's just a hardcore off-road travel on this road. At times I imagine it could be, but we're going to go check out some other parts of the park. I had tried to make this some more of a lengthy video, but unfortunately because of the weather, just not going to happen. Let's take a look. I'm on the entrance road. The window's a little foggy, not too bad. That's the visibility that I have. Don't think I'll be able to do anything here, so I think I'll just continue down the road to the store. So, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Think about subscribing to the channel for future content. I know it didn't really turn out like I wanted it to, but I hope you still enjoyed it. If you have questions, comments, etc., let me know below. And stay tuned for another video, and other videos, of course, about other places, other topics, tips, tricks, etc., product reviews, all that kind of good stuff. And until you next time, watch one of these videos up here. Thanks for watching and your support. See you on the trail. Bye.